Legal analyst stuns MSNBC panel into silence with inconvenient facts on Trump admin's legal setbacks. So we're gonna play the clip, but all the legal setbacks are exactly just what they are. Those are just setbacks, because the thing the thing about what Trump is doing is he has the law on his side. He has the authority to do what he's doing, being the chief executive officer of the government. He's allowed to do what he's doing. He has every right to do what he's doing. He has every right to audit these departments. He has every right to go in and get rid of fraud and waste, which essentially is what he's doing. So even if these lower courts go against him, he's going to win on appeal. But the majority of the courts are agreeing with what Trump is doing, even some Biden appointed judges. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clip. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon, and that's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Red State, and they report that, as expected, some of President Donald Trump's executive orders and administrative actions have led to a wave of lawsuits winding their way through courts, with lawyers no doubt lining up on Capitol Hill and beyond en masse to offer services to outraged Democrats, media figures, disgruntled former federal workers, and billionaire-funded special interest groups. And, of course, Trump is prepared for that. He knew this was going to happen. I mean, you think he doesn't have his own team of lawyers? You don't think he wasn't ready for this beforehand? Well, most recently, we saw it with the Associated Press, which formally filed a lawsuit Friday over their standoff with the Trump administration over the Gulf of America issue, where the media outlet has refused to use the term in their reporting, and where the administration in turn has barred them from assessing the Oval Office and Air Force One. Now, I think the AP is going to lose this lawsuit because they don't have a right to access the Oval Office. They don't have a right to be on Air Force One. That has nothing to do with our First Amendment freedom of speech. So I don't think this is going to hold. But he said, quote, we are taking this action on behalf of all independent global media organizations and people who have the freedom of speech, the AP proclaimed in their statement. Again, what does this has to do with freedom of speech? Trump is not saying they can't speak on whatever it is they want to speak on. They're just saying they're not going to allow them in the Oval Office or Air Force One. And Biden did the same thing with some media outlets when he was in office. No one sued him over that. And again, they have every right. Trump has every right to say, hey, I don't want you in this Oval Office. You don't have a right. That has nothing to do with your freedom of speech. But while we're hearing a lot in the media about alleged legal setbacks and court losses for Trump, the reality is far more nuanced and in Trump's favor. MSNBC legal analyst Danny Cavellos told his stunned co-panelists during a recent segment on the network's Amen program. So let's just get down to the clip here. Here we go. Hear what he has to say about it.
Over the weekend, I read all these headlines, and the headlines were like, Trump suffers legal blows. Another one was, Trump get hit with unexpected loss. Here was one.
The media is so biased, and they want Trump to lose so bad that they're biased even in their headlines. These are just setbacks. These are not losses. And Trump is prepared for these setbacks. He knows that he's not going to win over some of these Biden-appointed leftist activist judges. But again, that's why we have a whole appeals process, and he's ready for that. This is crazy. Wishful thinking, I guess, maybe, is what's going on. I don't know.
Major DEI legal setback. And I think the concern I have is that people watching those headlines, especially people who don't like Trump, are going to think Trump is getting his butt kicked. And then when he wins, invariably, he's going to win some of these cases. They're going to say, well, what happened to all the butt kicking, right? Yeah.
Exactly. You're setting your viewers up for failure and not telling them, like, hey, it's not set in stone. These are just setbacks. And again, I keep saying Trump is prepared for these setbacks. He knows these roadblocks are going to happen, but ultimately, I believe Trump is going to win a bunch of these because everything he's doing by the book. He has every right to do. He's not doing anything different than what any other presidents have done, except for the pace with which he's doing it is what they're really upset about. Because remember, when Bill Clinton was in office, he fired over 400,000 federal workers. And the left said absolutely nothing about it. But now that Trump is going in and doing these things, they're all outraged and they're upset that they're getting rid of these federal waste and fraud, which most Americans are for. We want to get rid of these programs. We want to get rid of these people that aren't really doing anything, aren't really doing their job. So a lot of these things that they're doing, again, they're going to lose in appeals, even if some of these Biden-appointed judges go in favor of go against Trump.
Yeah. And here's why. These are not major setbacks. First reason, we are at the stay stage. In other words, in almost all of these cases, the court is issuing a stay. That is a pause. By definition, it is not on the merits. Nobody's winning or losing on the merits. They're hitting the pause button until they can.
That's exactly what it is. They're stays. They're taking these stays as a win. I mean, there have been stays before and the people still end up winning. I mean, it's just a pause until they are able to go to court and hear it out in court. That's all it is. That's absolutely right. And they're taking these stays as wins, which is just ridiculous, and tells you that a lot of the people that are pushing this stuff in the news, either they're misleading their viewers or and readers, or they're being dishonest.
Decide the case on the merits. And by the way, just like Danielle said, all of this is exhibition games or friendlies, as they say in soccer. Yeah. They don't count. They don't count until they get to the last court they get to, which in most cases, because they're of unique constitutional issues, is going to be the Supreme Court. So these are not blows to the Trump administration. I don't see them that way. The other thing, and again, Danielle brought this up, the Trump administration totally expects they're going to lose in court a lot. Do you know what it costs to do an executive order? A piece of paper and a Sharpie. That's it. And they can go right back to the drawing board. One of these courts said, hey, the language was too vague. You know what that tells them? Just go draft another one. It's not like legislation where you need a bunch of people to agree on something. It is a pen and a piece of paper, and that's it. And here's the other thing. You could look at this as the headlines say, Trump losing here and there in court. Here's the way I see it. I'll give you an example. The Ninth Circuit on the DEI, or excuse me, the birthright citizenship issue. Yeah. Yes, the Ninth Circuit just a couple days ago said, no, you don't get a stay. You can't ask us on an emergency basis to overcome the stay at the lower court level. But they were never going to win that. The odds of winning that emergency motion were very slim. The more important message I take away is that the Trump administration wasn't even willing to wait for the, a few weeks or months of a stay on this major piece of administration policy. They don't want to wait. They're going to fight at every single turn. And that means appealing absolutely everything with the knowledge that they're going to lose some of them because it costs them nothing. Executive orders are the easiest thing to issue. So as much as I came here and I thought, well, these headlines really don't tell the whole story. Yeah. I wonder, Danielle, you might be with me on this to some degree because you made a lot of the points that I had to make. I do not see this as Trump losing over and over and over again. I think the more important, bigger story is that they're not going to stop and they're going to keep fighting at every turn, and they are going to win some of these.
Facts. And you see their faces. They were nodding along, but they didn't like what he had to say. In other words, reports from the left-wing media of supposedly devastating losses for the Trump administration in the courts have been greatly exaggerated. These things, of course, will take a while, but will be sorted out in due time. Absolutely correct. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Do you think Trump is going to win the majority of these cases? Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.